guys, it's Olivia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be doing a little get ready with me. So my husband and I are just going to go out for kind of a casual dinner, and I just wanted to kind of get ready with you guys and show you what I do in my normal routine. So we are just going to jump right into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with my hair. You can tell I just got out of the shower, so I'm going to spray in a little leave-in conditioner. This is my favorite one by Milkshake. It is the Milkshake Incredible Milk, and it is good for all hair types. So I have kind of fine oily hair, but I just kind of spray it through my ends. For anybody that doesn't already know, I am a working cosmetologist, and I use this on people with curly, dry hair all the time, and it works great for them too. So you just kind of have to use less or more depending on your needs. So I'm just brushing that in just to make sure that it's all throughout the hair except for on my roots, since I do have oily hair. Next, while I dry my hair, I'm going to go in with something that I got from BoxyCharm a few months ago. It's the South Main Under Eye Gels. They are pre-soaked gels, and you just pop them on under your eyes. Okay, so this says it reduces puffiness, reduces dark circles, and moisturizes the under eye area, and to leave it on for 30 minutes. So I'm just going to leave this on while I dry my hair. I'm just going to do some loose waves. I'm going to use my 1-inch Bionic iron. I usually don't take too much time with my curls because I just like them to be really loose. Alright, and now I'm going to pin my hair out of the way because it's really hot in here. Right now I don't have anything on my skin, so I'm going to go in with this collagen and retinol serum, and I'm just going to do very little because ever since I switched to a luminous foundation, I don't need nearly as much. So I'm going to just do like a drop and a half and just kind of pat that onto the skin. Now that I got that finished, I'm going to go in with the Cover FX Blurring Primer. This one's like a tan color, so that's a little different. And I'm going to focus that right kind of around my nose and on the nose, the forehead, and the chin. Okay, next for foundation, I'm still using the Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation in the shade Medium Beige. And I've been using about 2 pumps of this. If you guys saw my last video, I bought a gigantic Real Technique sponge, and I really like it. It works good for putting on the foundation really fast. But I do definitely have to go back in with the smaller one for certain areas. I'll use that just to show you guys how it works since I didn't get to use it in my last video. But see, you can do the cheek area in like 5 seconds or less. It's really good for blending down the neck. I'm going to go in with my smaller sponge and just do a little bit more foundation in these areas where I've got some texture. And then today I'm going to use the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Fair. This is something that I was using even before I really got into makeup. Just kind of, you know, a little concealer, maybe a little foundation, some mascara days, you know. But I picked it up again recently, and I really love this. It's so easy to use. And I love that, like, even though it has this little sponge applicator, it still doesn't really take your foundation off underneath. Oh, another thing that I wanted to update you guys on, if you saw my last video, is the Makeup Revolution Concealer. I really like the consistency of it and the way that it looks and the way that it applies. But I do have a little bit of a creasy under eye area, and it is a very, very creasy concealer. So if you have that issue, maybe skip that one. Just so you know, if you didn't see that, it's the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, and this is the concealer that a lot of people compare to Tarte Shape Tape. And you know, I could see why they would compare it, mainly just because of the applicator. But other than that, I mean, it's a lot thinner. It's not as full coverage, nowhere near as full coverage, and it doesn't stay put as well because it doesn't set itself. And next I'm going to go in with my Shade Light palette, and I'm going to mix these first two shades, as always, on a Morphe E3. Okay, so I just realized my camera stopped recording for a second, but I just threw it back with this Jaclyn Hill and Becca face palette, and I went in with this bronzer shade right here in the center. I love this bronzer, and I just recently kind of started using it because, of course, whenever this came out, the start of the show was this kind of highlight duo. So I do love this bronzer. I do kind of wish that it would have just been the two highlights, a giant bronzer, and then like a more Jaclyn-esque peachy blush, but I do love this palette, and I still use it, and it's been like 2 years, 3 years maybe. Hopefully the video didn't cut off before I did my contour, but if it did, I just used these first two shades from the Shade Light palette and a Luxie 516 Duo powder brush. So I think that's pretty bronzed up. My fake tan is kind of fading, so that should be dark enough for now. Okay, the next thing, I'm going to go in with this Dose of Colors XZIE blush in Soulmate. I love this blush for the summer months. I'm going to use a Morphe, I want to guess E86, but it's rubbed off. So, but it's just a little fluffy highlighter brush. A fan brush would work too. This is such a gorgeous beaming highlight. This is another thing I talked about in my last video. I think that it is so, so beautiful. One thing that I did mention, and I do kind of want to confirm, is that I do think that it's meant for like not a super fair skin tone, because if you look at the swatch, whoops, I have something else in my hand. If you look at the swatch, if you let it turn away from the light, it kind of has quite a shadow to it. So that will kind of be on the side of your face if you have really fair skin. One of the questions that I got in the comments was, is the other highlight from this collection any lighter or better for fair skin? And it is not. It's actually an even darker, deeper toned highlight. I think she just kind of based the collection off of what she likes and what she likes to wear, and that is okay. You know, there's plenty of fair skin highlights out there, and this is probably just not the one for you, but maybe you can make it work. I mean, if you like it, I just say go for it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my blush. I'm going to use the Morphe 9N palette. Let's go in with this one. And of course, if you're familiar with Morphe, they don't really have names. This is a Luxie tapered highlight brush. I'm going to use this for my blush. And this Luxie brush trio that I keep showing came in BoxyCharm a few months ago. Does anybody follow the BoxyCharm accounts? They have been kind of sneak peeking the upcoming box, and there's a couple of really exciting things coming. Okay, so the BoxyCharm Instagram says, this month every charmer is receiving this sold out Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal Pressed Pigment Eyeshadow Palette. And here is the photo. So that is the palette, and it is sold out. So the only way to get that right now is to get the BoxyCharm, and they have kind of given us a sneak peek. There's going to be some House of Lashes in the box this month. Maybe a Becca skin product, let's see, maybe a Tarte mascara and a Smashbox lipstick. So it's going to be a good box this time. If you haven't gotten on that yet, be sure to do that, and I will have my referral link down below. Okay, now I'm going to go in and fill in my brows. And I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer in the shade Taupe. So I just like to start by underlining the brow. Start with the bottom. Just kind of create that arch that you want. So then I just kind of flick upwards and start to fill in those sparse areas. I got some bald spots in these brows. I've been wearing them a little bit thinner lately. Okay, I'm going to just set my brows with this Essence Make Me Brow. I think this is a good Gimme Brow dupe from Benefit. Of course, I use the shade Taupe. I use the shade Taupe in every brow product. This actually lightens them up a little bit because, as I've said before, I feel like the brow definer and the pomade from Anastasia are both darker than the Brow Wiz. In the shade Taupe, that's the only one that I've really used enough to know anything about. So I just kind of go in with that to kind of keep them in place a little bit. Next thing I'm going to do is my eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm also going to go in with the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is kind of the easiest thing for me to use for an everyday palette because it is just so user friendly, so easy to use. There are so many kind of warm tones, so many neutral tones. There is a nice teal shadow like I said that I wanted to use, and I just feel like you can create so many looks with this. You can go on the dark side, you can do a green look. You can keep it super natural and just kind of use a transition shade and maybe one of these pinks and a highlight shade. There's so many looks you can go with this. And so I feel like this is so easy to work with. I know most people already have it in their collection, but if not, you need to get on the ball. I'm going to go in with the shade Pooter. It is just kind of a darker sort of transition shade. It is still in stock on Morphe.com because I was just on there today checking out some brushes, kind of waiting on the Vault Collection launch. Just kind of getting ready for that and figuring out what else I want to order because on that day, as we know, it would be very hectic on Morphe.com or on Morphebrushes.com. It is Morphebrushes.com. That day, everything will be very hectic on Morphebrushes.com, so there will not be time to go in and like do all your browsing and your shopping. You will need to go ahead and figure out what you want beforehand if you want to have time to get the palette, because some things, I mean, I'm sure they have a lot in stock, but sometimes things sell out very quickly. And not only that, but sometimes sites will be disabled in other areas or just very, very slow and unusable. So, and I'm just going to use that for like the majority of this look. Kind of build it up more in the crease here. Build it up more towards the outer corner. Use that to blend out and just leave the very, very center of my lid blank. And I am going in with pretty tacky eyelids. I may have swiped a little bit of that Shade Light highlight palette over it just to keep the concealer from creasing a little bit, but it's still very tacky. So I'm just kind of pressing it on right here on the outer corner of the eye and then blending everywhere else just to get a little bit of color. I don't want this to be too crazy, you know. Just kind of keep it natural. Okay, now let's go in with this shade Chip here. It's the brown shade right here. And I'm just going to use that to deepen out this outer corner right here. Just kind of stamp it on. Go in a little bit of a circular motion right around that just to blend it out. I'm going to go back into Pooter just a little bit to buff the edges out a little bit. Okay, let's go in with this shade SBN for the center of the lid. And I'm going to use that on my finger. And I'm just going to tap it right in the center of the lid. And then once I get a little bit of the product off my finger, I'm just going to go right around the edges of it just to kind of diffuse it out just a smidge. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Beam. This is going to be the less bright of the two highlight shades. That last brush that I used, as always, is a Morphe M441. This is my favorite blending brush. I use this in every single eyeshadow look. For the inner corner highlight, I'm going to use an R41. It's kind of a medium-ish pencil brush. And I'm actually going to diffuse that out quite a bit here. Just kind of fan it on right onto the nose. Okay, let's take that right in the center and just dab it right in the center of that highlight shade on the middle of our lid, just to brighten that up just a smidge. And this will not be as crazy once we put lashes on. Okay, now I'm going to use that same shade to highlight my brow bone, just right underneath the highest point of the brow. Really need a wax. Okay, now I'm going to use my Morphe E23, and I'm going to go in with the shade Pooter, and I'm going to use that on the lower lash line. No, I forgot I want to do a teal look. You know what, that's fine. Let's just do a little of this. We're going to use that to blend it out. I'm going to take that brush that we just used, the kind of medium pencil brush, the R41, and I'm going to dab into the shade Jada from the palette. I'm going to get a pretty good amount of that product on the brush, and I'm just going to stamp it right on the lower lash line. This palette really doesn't have any fallout, but with a shade like this, if there was any, you would see it. So I just want to be really careful. And I'm going to come right up to that highlight shade, and then I'll go in with a little bit more of that just to kind of make it a little bit more seamless. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with that E28 that I was using with the Pooter shade on the lower lash line, and just use that to blend these two colors together a little bit. Soften it up, make it not as harsh. And I'm going to kind of just ever so slightly flick it out towards the, you know, kind of tail of the lash line where you would have your eyeliner. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my MAC Fascinating Eye Kohl. And this is a white. Just any white liner will do. You could probably even use like a cream or a nude for this if you don't have a white, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with that same brush, same color, Jada, and I'm going to stamp the eyeshadow right over that liner. And this is a good trick to use if you want to do kind of a cool waterline look but you don't have a lot of eyeliners. So eyeliner is not really something that I'm super into. I'll do it occasionally, but just not something that's very normal for my routine. So I don't have a lot of eyeliners. I'm not going to buy them if I'm not really going to use them. So I just go ahead and get this white. I could go in just like this, and I can even do like a rainbow on that if I wanted to. But you can just use literally any color in your eyeshadow collection and make sort of an eyeliner out of it. Okay, I'm just going to lightly curl my lashes. Just enough to keep them from being bored straight, because I am going to wear some lashes. I'm going to quickly put some mascara on. This is the Maybelline Colossal Waterproof Mascara in Classic Black. This is my favorite mascara of all time. I swore for years that I was not going to experiment with mascara because I already know what works best for me. I mean, I just don't really think it could get any better than this. Now, don't judge it by this because, like I said, I just barely curled them. But I did start kind of experimenting with mascara a few months ago, and now I know why I don't do it, because it just doesn't, there's nothing better, in my opinion. I like a waterproof only for curled lashes because everything else straightens them back out. Does anybody else have this problem? Okay, I'm going to pop on some lashes. These are the EYEWEAR Luxe lashes in the style Baroque that I picked up in my haul. These are very natural lashes. Well, natural in thickness. They're pretty long, but they are pretty natural in the thickness aspect. So I like that since, like I said, we were just going to a casual dinner. Nothing too fancy, nothing too serious. Glue that comes with the EYEWEAR lashes, I've used it in an emergency situation before and it's not too bad. Not too shabby there. Actually, let's use that. Let's use that today just to see how it goes. I'm waiting for those to dry. I'm going to go ahead and coat my lower lash line with this unlashed mascara. So we are now into August. Every time August gets here, I just start thinking about fall and Halloween. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. And my husband and I love to do something really fun for our costume, but I don't have any ideas yet for this year. So if you guys have anything that seems really cool, let me know. What are you guys thinking about dressing up as? I know it's really early for this topic, but I feel like, does anyone else feel like they need like months to plan this? Because I like to make my costumes or kind of like find something, kind of custom put it together. I'm not one of those people that just likes to go to the costume store and just pick up, you know, the first thing that they find, which that's fine. But I like to kind of customize things and make them a little bit more creative. Of course, after getting a little bit more into makeup within the last few years, I like to kind of incorporate something I can do, you know, makeup with for me. But I really like a couple costumes, so, you know, kind of the best of all worlds there. Okay, so I got those lashes popped on, and I did use the EYEWEAR glue, and I don't mind it. I feel like it's just as good as the one that I normally use. So if you pick up those lashes, try out the glue and let me know what you think. Next is lips, and I'm going to go in with this Jordana lip liner in the shade Tawny. This can be found at Walgreens. I am loving this Dose of Colors Liquid Lip in Nude Chica that I got from my haul last week. I love it. And I think it's gorgeous with the gloss over it. Okay, so now I'm going to set my face with this MAC Fix Plus. I like to hold this one really far away from my face because it can kind of make you feel like you got splashed by somebody jumping in the pool. It's not one of those super fine misters. Maybe they'll up their game on that sometime soon. Okay, so that is about it for the hair and makeup. Now let's pick out an outfit. Okay, you guys, sorry the camera view is so small, but this is the best I could do. So here is my outfit. I decided to go with a bodysuit and some high-waisted flared jeans and some heels. So that is the outfit. Sorry the view is so small. I don't have like a really giant mirror, so this is the best that I could do, but it's really cute. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this jewelry that I'm wearing. So this one right here is a long chain. My earrings are those really cool kind of floppy leather earrings that are kind of in style right now, and I'm obsessed with them. I love how lightweight they are, and they're just super easy to wear. They're not heavy on my ears or anything. So this jewelry, the 2 pieces that I just showed you, came from Plunder. If no one is familiar with Plunder, it is a direct sales company. It's like Scentsy or Rodan & Fields, where you specifically buy from a consultant, and I have a really great friend who sells it, and that's who I get mine from. So I will have her website linked down below if anybody would like to check out the stuff or pick up these items. This one also has like a reverse side, so you can wear it like this too if you want it to be a little bit more subtle, or it's like really shiny on this side. So the 2 pieces that I got from her are the long chain and the earrings. Alright, that is it, you guys. Thank you for getting ready with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.